The envelope was waiting for her on the doorstep. A plain, white rectangle with her name scrawled across the front in an uneven, hurried hand. Lila stared at it, her heart pounding in her chest. She hadn't been expecting mail, especially not hand-delivered. The blocky letters on the front had no stamp, no return address, and no hint of who it might be from. She glanced around her quiet suburban street, but there was no one in sight. The only sound was the faint rustle of leaves in the chilly evening breeze. Her first instinct was to leave it there. Ignore it. Pretend she hadn't seen it. But something about the envelope wouldn't let her look away. She crouched down, picked it up, and stepped inside her house, locking the door behind her. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was a single piece of paper, folded into thirds. When she unfolded it, the message was just 2 lines, written in the same messy handwriting as her name on the front. You don't know me, but I know you. If you want the truth about what happened to Emma, meet me at 10 p.m. at the old train station. Lila's breath caught in her throat. Emma. It had been 10 years since her older sister had disappeared. 10 years of unanswered questions, sleepless nights, and dead-end leads. Emma had been 23, vibrant and full of life, when she vanished without a trace. The police investigation had gone cold after just a few months, and Lila's family had been left to piece together their shattered lives with no closure. And now, this. Lila sank onto the couch, the note clenched in her hands. Her mind raced. Was this a cruel prank? Some sick joke? Or could it be real? She thought of the few details she had about Emma's disappearance, how she had been last seen leaving a cafe downtown, how her phone had gone dead an hour later, and how no one had ever come forward with credible information. For years, Lila had replayed the possibilities in her mind. Had Emma run away? Been abducted? Hurt? Every theory led to a dead end, leaving her with nothing but frustration and grief. But now, there was this note. By 9:30 p.m. Lila couldn't stand the suspense any longer. She grabbed her coat, slipped her phone into her pocket, and stepped out into the cold night air. The old train station was a 20-minute drive from her house, a dilapidated relic from decades ago that had been abandoned when the city built a new transportation hub. Her pulse quickened as she pulled into the empty parking lot. The station loomed ahead, its dark windows like hollow eyes staring back at her. She turned off the engine, gripping the steering wheel tightly as she tried to steady her nerves. The station was eerily quiet, the only sounds coming from the distant hum of traffic and the occasional hoot of an owl. Lila stepped inside, the musty smell of decay hitting her immediately. The faint glow of a single overhead bulb lit the main waiting area, casting long shadows across the room. "Hello," she called out, her voice echoing. For a moment, there was nothing but silence. Then, a figure stepped out from the shadows. It was a man, middle-aged, with unkempt hair and a worn leather jacket. His eyes were sharp, darting around the room as if he expected someone to be watching. "Are you Lila?" he asked. "Yes," she replied, her voice trembling. "Who are you? And how do you know about Emma?" The man hesitated, as if deciding how much to say. Finally, he spoke. "My name's Dan. I knew your sister. We used to work together. But after she disappeared, I started digging, and I found some things I wasn't supposed to. Things that put me in danger." Lila's stomach turned. "What kind of things?" Dan looked over his shoulder, his expression paranoid. "She didn't just disappear. She was taken." And the people who took her, they're still out there. Dan handed her a small USB drive. Everything I've found is on here, he said. Documents, photos, recordings. But you have to be careful. These people, they're powerful. They'll do anything to keep their secrets buried. Before Lila could respond, there was a sudden noise outside, a car door slamming. Dan's eyes widened in panic. They've found me, he whispered. Run. Before she could process what was happening, Dan shoved her toward a side exit. Lila stumbled out into the cold night, clutching the USB drive tightly. She heard shouting behind her, followed by the sound of footsteps. She didn't stop running until she reached her car. Her hands shook as she started the engine, peeling out of the parking lot just as two black SUVs pulled in. Lila didn't go home that night. Instead, she drove to a 24-hour diner on the outskirts of town, parking in the back where her car wouldn't be visible from the road. She sat in a corner booth with her laptop, plugging in the USB drive and opening its contents. What she found made her blood run cold. The drive contained hundreds of files, emails, surveillance footage, financial records, all pointing to the existence of a shadowy organization involved in human trafficking. Emma's name appeared in several of the documents, along with references to other missing women. One folder contained photos of Emma, taken in the weeks before her disappearance. Some were candid shots of her at work, while others were clearly taken without her knowledge, her walking to her car, sitting in a cafe, or standing outside her apartment. Lila's stomach churned as she realized the full extent of what had happened. Emma hadn't just vanished, she had been targeted. Over the next few days, Lila pieced together as much of the puzzle as she could. She learned that the organization operated under the guise of a legitimate business, using its connections to law enforcement and government officials to avoid scrutiny. But the deeper she dug, the more dangerous things became. Her phone started receiving strange calls, numbers she didn't recognize, with no one on the other end when she answered. She noticed cars following her, their headlights lingering in her rearview mirror longer than normal. Lila knew she couldn't do this alone. She reached out to an investigative journalist, someone she trusted to bring the truth to light. Together, they began building a case, collecting evidence and interviewing people who had crossed paths with the organization. The closer they got to the truth, the more desperate the organization became to silence her. One night, Lila returned home to find her apartment ransacked, her laptop missing. A note was left on her kitchen counter. Stop, or you'll end up like her. But Lila refused to back down. With the journalist's help, she leaked the documents to the press, exposing the organization's operations. The story gained national attention, forcing law enforcement to reopen Emma's case and launch an investigation. It wasn't an easy battle. The organization fought back, trying to discredit Lila and bury the evidence. But in the end, the truth prevailed. Several high-ranking members of the group were arrested, and the survivors were finally given a chance to tell their stories. Though Emma was never found, Lila finally had the answers she had been searching for. She carried her sister's memory with her as she worked to help other families affected by similar tragedies. The pain of losing Emma never fully went away, but Lila found purpose in the fight for justice. And in the quiet moments, when she looked up at the stars, she felt a sense of peace, knowing that her sister's story had made a difference.